So a lot of great questions about searching for those GERs, SIRs, and there's a lot of ways to like over filter for things, and that date that Jeannie mentioned being in there by default definitely can throw a curveball in there. Let me go ahead here. Give me a moment. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and get some of that data out. The one thing to mention is nothing goes away. If you're an administrator who has the ability to delete something, you'll have the ability to also search for that deleted item. So, a lot of people are like, oh, this went away, I can't find it. Just rest assured that you will have access to anything that you've entered into your system. Um, and thank you, Robin. Robin went over a lot of the actual rule privileges you needed to access some of the reports. Um, so let's just, the most basic one, right? We would just come into general event reports and click on search to try to find something. When you're doing it this way through the individual tab, this is only based on your caseload. So you're only going to be able to search for those items that are on your caseload. So you can see here what was mentioned earlier, the entered by date is automatically default there, for 9/28. So we can go ahead and backdate that to open up that search. The more things you select on here, the less yields you're going to get. So it is very possible to overfilter for something. Like if you're like, oh, I know it was a medium, I'm going to select medium, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe you put it as a low by accident, by something else. So if you leave boxes off, you will get more yields. So that's just another kind of common thing across Therap modules as well. The less you filter for, the more you'll get. All right, so that's just the kind of basic, the GER search here. Now I'm going to take you over here to our agency reports tab. Okay, so nested in the agency reports tab, we have something here that says event summaries. So it's not maybe super clear, because we do call them in Therap general event summaries, but in California you're calling them SIRs. But the event summaries is a nice place that you can go ahead and look at a bulk of information. Anything here in the agency reports tab is going to be for your entire provider code. So this is no longer caseload based. And that's why Robin went over the abilities to kind of assign who can see what reports when we dive into this section, because it is now your entire provider code. Okay, I'm going to go to agency event summaries, and click on view. All right, and here we can look for a specific program. Let's say I wanted to look for the last 2 months. All right, so I'm going to go back to, we'll say September 1st, and we'll put on today's date. And we can now view how do we want these to be broken down. So if I was doing, a year, maybe I wanted to see things broken down by quarter. So since I'm just doing a few months, I want to see this broken down. I'm going to say weekly for this. But this totally depends on how you're reviewing it and how you want to get this information out for the event summaries. The other thing too, if we just want to see approved GERs, that's by default clicked on here for us. If we want to see ones that might still be in prep, pending approval or returned, we can click on all of those boxes as well. So I'm going to I'll click on them all just to kind of get the most amount of results here for us. All right, so now this is called event summaries. That's what we're doing here. So within Therap, we have an older module that's getting a little bit of a facelift. That's our behavior event module. So right now, we're not dealing with the BERs, which we call them in the system as well. We're just looking at their general event reports, which are going to be your SIRs. So this is a red asterisk field, so we do want to make sure that that's clicked on there. If you've been a historic customer who has been using our behavior plan module, you can also link those in to this report as well that we'll pull. Most folks are maybe not, or doing behavior tracking with ISB programs, which is another wonderful way of doing behaviors. So just noting, we're just dealing with the SIRs today. And I'm going to go ahead here and click on search. And you can see right here, I have the ability to export this to Excel. And what this report just doing really quick, a quick and easy report, is giving me all the programs listed. It's giving me those week breakdowns because I said I wanted to view it by week, and it's giving me numbers. So just by a few clicks, I'm starting to see maybe some trends that might be happening, within our homes or programs and sites. Okay, so that's nice. So this is doing it by program. I can also go ahead and list this by individual if I wanted to see it this way. And both of these views are exportable to Excel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead here and click on next. Okay, and this is a nice report too that you can do. You can pick up to 10 columns you want. So this is going to be an exportable to Excel report. And you could come in here and click on 10 boxes here. And those 10 boxes will easily be able to be generated into an Excel download. All right, so 10 is a little bit limiting. So you can see if if you do request more, it will take a few days. So I have another report I'm going to show you that's in our report library. That's a really great one as well that I'm a big fan of, that one. So yeah, this one's great. I like this one, the quick and easiness, just to kind of see some really quick trends. This isn't giving me any information right here about what the injury was or medication error, but this is just kind of showing me a quick trends of what might be happening for the individual or for the program. All right, I'm going to head back to the dashboard. All right, and we also have our report library. Lots of great things listed in here. As Robin mentioned earlier, we could just assign specific ones to a user. Or here I have 215 here linked up to mine, so quite a bit. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead for the report name and just type in GER. Once again, the less you put in the searches, also the more yields you're going to get. So I'm going to keep it simple here. And these are all the different GER reports that I have that I could go ahead and run. So pretty good stuff here. I am going to come into one. The one I am a big fan of is the, here we go, the management summary. So this is the GER management summary report. I'm going to click on this here. The nice thing to note about this that's different than the event summaries is just asking me to put the dates in. So this is going to give me all the raw data that are on that GER forms without having to click on up to 10 columns. This is going to give me everything based on a date range. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and look at last month. Hopefully there's some stuff in here. I don't use this account often. And we'll hit continue. Cool. Yeah, it's quite a bit of stuff. So I'm not going to try to read this screen. This doesn't really make much sense to me. Actually, there's not a lot of yields. I'm going to go even back a little further. I'm going to be brave here. And actually, I'm going to test how many. I'm going to go back to August 1st to today. Get some more stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to export this to Excel without even looking at all this because it doesn't make any sense to me. All right. We're not going to do an Excel training, obviously, for the sake of time here. We're at the end. But I do just like to show that there is the ability here to get all this data out here. Where's my Excel hiding? There we go. And so here you can see pretty much every column is every little thing you have there for your incident reports. Go away. And I could do, I'm just going to do a quick little preview. If you're not familiar with what a pivot table is, I could go ahead and just read this data. I could have Excel read and filter this data for me pretty easily. But I'm going to make that a little bigger so you folks can view it. I thought I was. I don't know what's happening here. I'm sorry. I was trying to make this bigger for you. But anyway, everything has their unique form ID. So I'm going to you don't need to remember this. I'm just kind of showing you. So this is letting me know I have 16 here for that time frame. I could come down in here and put the person's name in a row. So now it's giving me those days. And there's just different stackings we can do with a pivot table. So if you're interested in pivot tables, we do have some wonderful videos that we've recorded on our help and support page. And this just kind of helps and look at stuff across without having to over filter by accident. There's a nice one here for status that I could put for filters. So if I wanted to see all the GERs that haven't been approved yet, I could say I just want to see the pending approval ones, and then it filters that down here. So some nice stuff we can do in there with that report. Let me head back here. So once again, that report and that report library that I just went over, that's the one that just says management summary. Excellent report because it's giving you all the raw data. Once again, to mention, not based on caseload, based on your entire provider code. So let's just go in here again, report library. I'm going to go to view again and just show you some of those other nice ones we have the ability to run. So we have a COVID-19 specific report. Um, we have a basic report, intervals, that will kind of give you the intervals with the kind of time flow of when things are approved, etc. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff in here if you wanted to see all the ones without a review or follow-up. Um, really good stuff here. Really good stuff here. So take a look in there and play with that if you want to see any data that you're looking for. I'm going to slow down just to see if there's any questions. Robin, if you could let me know. I know we're kind of going towards the end of the time, so
Yeah, I'm not seeing any new questions, Jody.
all right, great. All right. So that's some great ways there. With the report library, especially that last report I showed, there's some basic Excel knowledge that you would need to know to kind of navigate some of that. With doing the GER searches and finding that actual GER to kind of look at follow-up notes one at a time, that's not too much. That's your Therap basic knowledge can get you the ability to do that. Um, the last thing I want to show you for reading all this nice data is what we call our business intelligence tool, BI for short. This is an additional module. This isn't something that you have on your account right now. Some of you might. It's a great tool, but this would be something that would be needed to be added on. So you would contact Stan or Brent about that. So here in this demo account, I do have business intelligence here. So I could go to business intelligence. This is also a role that you would have to be given. Okay, within business intelligence too, we have what we call dashboards. So there's different dashboards for business intelligence, and we have one that's just for our GERs. Okay, so if we were to use this and you were using a lot of Therap, you could assign specific dashboards for a user. So if I didn't need to look at the health tracking dashboard, I don't have to have that one on there. So for today's calls, we're focusing on our GERs, SIRs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on here. My analogy, I love analogies. My analogy here for BI, it's like if you're driving, automatic, a car automatic, that's what we're doing right here. If you're driving 5-speed, you have ship stick, that's what you're doing for, looking at the data in Excel. There's a little bit, you have to have been taught how to drive a 5-speed car. With the BI, you kind of just open this up and you start clicking around, and you'll start to see some trends really, really easily. So BI is being generated. It's not live, so that's just something to mention. It does take a day or two if you have something new for this to update here. But this is how you would see stuff across, a time frame. So this is going all the way back to October of 2018. If I wanted to look at stuff just to clean it up a little bit, I'm going to do year to date. Get here. And we'll do here 1031. And there is a filter here. I do need to apply that here. All right, so what that has done is it now took it down and broke it down for me by that date range. All right, it's doing it yearly. Let's take a look at it monthly. So I want to see the breakdown for monthly. All right, so what this is doing here, this is my GER count changes, and you can see there's a bar graph here. You can kind of hover over it and see what that's there, saying there. And there's just all certain ways of viewing this information, by locations, the time duration between approving it, creating it and approving it. And all of these different views here, if you're kind of a visual person and you want to see a different view, you can come in here and switch the view of these things. So if I wanted to see this not as a table, but as like a bar chart, I can go ahead and click on that and it will change the view for me to see it that way. So this is just one section of this GER dashboard. You can see it breaks it down also into kind of subcategories here, like injury, it's a popular one. All right, and then once again, all these nice bar graphs that will show up here. I could also filter it by program name. Maybe I'm just looking for one specific one of the programs. Maybe I'm just looking for Blue Street or something like that. So I can't even break it down to just a single home. I can compare it across different homes in different areas. So this is a wonderful tool for reading all of that data that you might have in here. And these are also all, you can export all these sections also. So that's just something to mention too. So if you're doing any kind of reviews of incident reporting, you maybe have a committee that's overlooking the reviews internally. This is a wonderful tool that you can utilize. Is that business intelligence for GERs.